Thank you so much, Liesl. It's great to be here with BJ and Brendan and Central Coast Mariners, people from the council, as well as my colleagues Liesl and David. And look, I too would like to acknowledge the Darkinjung people, First Nations people on the Central Coast. And thank you for that warm welcome, BJ. We really appreciate it. It's an exciting day for us. We're today committing $8.5 million to allow Central Coast Council to progress to stage 2 for the infrastructure investment framework. Now that's a fancy way of saying we're going to get going with the Gosford waterfront project. We need this project for the Central Coast. It is paradise up here, but it needs investment from a future New South Wales Labor government. We want to make sure that Central Coast, which as Liesl has said is paradise, has the investment from Macquarie Street that this community deserves. We've got tens of thousands of families up here that pay taxes to Sydney and expect their fair share of services. And as David and Liesl and I have said for many years now, in opposition we can only say we can't do, but March 2023 is an opportunity for the people behind me and the local community to put pressure on the government to get this area its fair share of resources, to make sure that private investment comes into this community and that we can make sure that the taxpayers and residents of the Central Coast get what's coming to them, and that means their fair share of investment from the New South Wales government. My strong view is that after 12 years in government from the Liberals and Nationals, that hasn't happened, and we need a fundamental change. Dominic Perrottet and Matt Keane and Paul Toole are re-elected in March 2023. My conclusion is nothing will change, and if you believe you're not getting your fair share on the Central Coast, or this community is being treated like a flyover by the Liberals and Nationals, then you have to vote for change. Vote for the local Labor team on the Central Coast, and let's get investment and the kind of support that this community desperately needs and deserves. There's a few things on the agenda this morning which I just want to speak about briefly before I hand over to my colleagues. Firstly, there's severe flood warnings for the communities in Moree this morning. We understand that 4,000 people have been evacuated already, and it's already halfway through the morning. So the message needs to be loud and clear to those communities. If you're in flood waters, if you're in emergency waters, listen to the emergency broadcaster and follow directions from emergency service personnel, whether it's the SES, whether it's the Rural Fire Service or New South Wales Police. If you're in a situation where you've got floodwaters and you're in your car, please don't drive through those dangerous floodwaters. It's impossible to know how deep the road actually has been inundated with, and the life you save could be your own or a family member or an emergency service personnel